What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Definitely apologize, y'all. Definitely had a night. Definitely had a night. Sure, I've told many of y'all that I am, a basketball coach, and I actually ran with him today. I am getting a little old. Y'all probably say I'm not. My body hurts. I'm not gonna lie. Be 28 in March. Be 28 in March. So a lot of y'all again gonna say, "Oh, you're not old." My body, I'm telling y'all, I haven't ran, a basketball game in a minute. But definitely fun. I definitely tell y'all it's definitely fun. If y'all know who Retro Steph is, Retro Steph, he was out there with me, doing the same thing. So definitely apologize for late upload today. But one thing about it is that I'm definitely glad, to get y'all out some more content. Got to hear investigators are now reporting, Ilhan Omar potential ties to Minnesota Somali fraud scandal. Says here, if there's evidence, there must be full accountability, no special treatment, no immunity. Expose it, prosecute it, clean it up. Check it out.
I actually spent last week in Minneapolis, and there's two parallel stories. I mean, there is a panic within the Somali community. They've been found out for these massive fraud schemes, daycares, transportation, fake autism services, the whole 9 yards. But the political question is very important, and my sources in Minneapolis state government say that there are open inquiries into the potential involvement at the highest level of Minnesota politics. And so I think people will be taking a hard look not only at Governor Tim Walz, but also Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and State Attorney General Keith Ellison. We know that they have connections with convicted fraudsters. The question is, were they merely complicit in these schemes, or were they part of a broader conspiracy? We don't have strong evidence now, but I think people are starting to take a look.
Well, what we do know is that Ellison promised these guys he'd make the investigation go away, and then he got money as a donation. We know that whistleblowers alerted the Walz administration, and he didn't take any action. And we know a couple of these people, like Omar, got money from these convicted fraudsters as political donations. Are you saying that there could have been a conspiracy to move the welfare fraud money into their war chests?
It's certainly possible, and I think the person, and really I'm grateful for it, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has all the tools at his disposal to actually investigate the money trail, to figure out how the money flowed between these fake nonprofits and Somali fraudsters and Minnesota politicians. And I'll tell you, the atmosphere in Minneapolis was electric. I mean, people had the sense of anticipation. Something big is coming. And look, I hope they get to the bottom of it, because we're talking about, some estimates upward of $9 billion stolen. These politicians seem
They actually said as high as $18 billion.
At a minimum have turned a blind eye to the fraud, or even directed people below them to take steps so that it wasn't uncovered. This scandal is not over, and I think it could end with significant action. And again, I think Secretary Bessent is the right man for the job.
I can't wait for them to actually, do more into it. Y'all know that they've been working pretty hard. They've been working pretty hard, and I definitely want them just as much as y'all do to work even harder when it comes down to it. So I definitely cannot wait. You have it right here. This is Lindell TV. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with Mike Lindell, but you have here, and I want to make sure I have her name right. You have here. Let me get her name, y'all. I definitely apologize for this. I don't want to mess up her name. That's why I say this. But I'm pretty sure her name is Allison, if I'm not mistaken. This is Allison. Let me go to another. Allison Steinberg. So y'all see Allison Steinberg, and she asks these questions. Obviously, you have Ilhan Omar. She, again, never, ever, takes accountability. But it says here's what she was asked: allegations of immigration fraud, why she skipped the Minnesota fraud hearing, claims of $9 billion in fraud in her home state, and whether whistleblowers are being retaliated against if state officials, including Governor Tim Walz, bear responsibility. So you truly have a lot of these questions being asked, and look how she responded, y'all.
Congresswoman, Republicans have repeatedly stated that you committed immigration fraud. Are you at all worried about a formal investigation that could perhaps lead to your deportation?
Well, you're one of those people.
I don't know what that means, but are you at all concerned?
Do I look concerned?
I guess not.
Okay.
All right. What about the Minnesota?
Instead of saying you're one of those people, because I tell y'all right now, if it was the other way around, they'll, you know, how crazy, you know, how they go, it'd be a completely different story. One, I tell you, you know, as she say, one of those people, what confuses me and what makes me mad about it is that that's their go-to, is to immediately, you know, bring all. You one of those people. Oh, you're that person. Instead of answering the question.
Fraud hearing, you didn't show up for that. Do you think you should have?
Why should I have?
Well, it happened in your state. Don't you want to defend your position?
There were people from my state that were there.
Okay, but why not you? I mean, there's allegations that you're complicit in the fraud. Wouldn't you want to show up?
Why
to
would there
defend
be an allegation that I'm complicit? How would I be complicit?
Well, what about Tim
Do
Walz?
you just ask stupid questions? Is this your thing?
I'm curious to get your thoughts.
No,
I mean, there's a lot of controversy around the issue. $9 billion in fraud in the state of Minnesota.
$9 billion.
You don't think so?
Really?
Yeah, and counting. Probably more, honestly. You think that's fake news or what?
That is more than half of the resources that are allocated.
Okay.
So you genuinely, like, your brain has told you that it is possible for half of the resources.
I'm just going off of what
for
the
our public service to, like, half disappear, is what you're saying.
countless Minnesota state representatives, whistleblowers
But, like,
have come
listen
forward.
to yourself, though.
I'm
Like,
trying.
just think about that for a second.
Maybe if you showed up at the hearing, you would
Just-
know that
just think
whistleblowers
about
are
that
being
for a second.
retaliated against for exposing.
And these are all facts. The thing about this is that you have Allison here. She's not asking. She's not basically telling her, "Oh, this is, you know, automatically, oh, this is going on. This is going on. You did this. You did that." These are actual questions. Like, answer the question. If you truly feel as if these things are wrong, then you have that chance, you know, to obviously speak on it. And y'all see what she's doing.
the fraud. Why is that? Why are they being
But
tracked and
just
traced?
think about what you're asking. Who is tracing whistleblowers?
Minnesota state officials, Tim Walz, anyone who dares to speak out against the government.
Tim Walz is doing something to
Yeah,
whistleblowers?
why is Tim Walz stepping down if he's, you know, innocent? Why isn't he running for re-election?
Because he's had 8 years to serve as our great governor.
He was going to be vice president of the United States if Kamala
Yes,
won.
and he would have been an excellent vice president.
now he's stepping
much
down.
better than the person we have right now.
Now he's stepping down as governor. Any comment on
He would have been an excellent vice president. And y'all going through this right now? Just listen to yourself.
that? You don't think he's maybe
crazy.
complicit?
He is focusing on trying to make sure our state remains great. All right, have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Please read.
Congresswoman.
What'd she say at the end?
It's great. All right, have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Please read.
She said, "Please read." Please read. She said, "Please read, y'all. Please read." And she literally. That's how you know right there. The response it says, right, well, that got awkward fast. Ilhan sounds so guilty. For real. You can tell just by her voice and about how mad she got and walked away and saying that last remark like she got to have the last word. Please read. You know, for her to say that just goes to show you on how much in trouble, you know, this woman is. I'm telling y'all. I find it funny. So you got it right here. Ilhan Omar doubles down in the Southside Reporter again, not only once, but twice. After running yesterday, Ilhan Omar was confronted again today and once more refused to answer the questions about Minnesota's $9 billion fraud scandal. Says instead, Ilhan lashed out, telling our reporter to get her head examined and claiming her brain has been fried. Pretty crazy. Y'all can find all of this on Lindell TV, so make sure y'all check it out.
Congresswoman Omar, yesterday you told me to please read when I asked you about the $9 billion fraud that you denied is happening, but I have it right here. I read. Look, Chairman Comer opens hearing on massive fraud scandal, $9 billion.
That's what Comer believes because he's as smart as you are.
It's not just Comer. It's Scott Besson. It's federal prosecutors. It's House
There is
Oversight.
absolutely
And
no
it's Minnesota
goddamn
State
way
reps.
You could have that, ma'am. I think you need to get examined because your brain has been fried in some way, and it's not okay. I really hope you get some help. You and the Republicans here. Take care, okay, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I couldn't go to the learning centers that you're running over in Minnesota, but I think you should perhaps read what's actually.
One of those learning centers.
I need one of those learning centers.
Let's see it.
A Learning Center. I don't know. Me personally, I find it completely. I find it funny. I find it funny just for the simple fact that she can't answer any of the questions that's being asked. You can tell just by the answers that that she's given is rather. I'm mad. I'm mad. I don't want your questions. I know that I'm in trouble. I know it's giving out more of that type of energy, as y'all can see. There's another. This is an interview. Obviously, says I reporter Allison. It's at Allison in the know, so y'all can go check that out. Presses. You got here. William Timmons on whether Ilhan Omar can face investigation or subpoenas amid mounting questions tied to Minnesota Fried. Check it out.
The American people want to know what is going on with Ilhan Omar, because I think it's abundantly clear she's probably complicit in a lot of the fraud we're seeing in Minnesota. Is she going to be investigated? Are you guys going to subpoena her immigration records? I mean, where do we stand on her?
So the ethics committee is going to take over a lot of that, and I do think that there's some potential wrongdoing as it relates to getting campaign contributions to entities that she funneled money through. So we'll see what the ethics committee does. That's their job. She's probably the best mouthpiece the Republicans have. So just continue on, say whatever comes to mind, because the American people disagree with her. Yeah. She is vehemently anti-American, and it really hits home to a lot of Americans that are proud. They can be Republicans or Democrats, but they are proud to be an American, and the fact that she hates America so openly is really good for our chances in the midterms.
It certainly doesn't hurt. I think it's concerning to see some of her statements. I mean, she's recently said that enforcing immigration law is a waste of taxpayer resources. She said ICE is a lawless occupying force. So she just doesn't hold back. She's really a disgrace to our nation. But I think we get back to this everlasting question from the American people, at least the MAGA base, on the accountability side of all of this. And you said she's going to be investigated likely by the ethics committee. Can we trust the ethics committee to actually be ethical? The American
y'all can again, y'all can see and watch the full interview. Lindo TV actually come and said watch the full interview on Lindo TV. So y'all can go find all this. It's LINDELL TV. So y'all can find that if y'all want to watch that whole interview. And I'm pretty sure there's more clips of Ilhan Omar. I'm pretty sure y'all probably don't want to see it. I mean, it's kind of I don't want to say like dumb to watch it, but she's not answering questions. It's more so of, I'm mad. So I'm gonna definitely give Lindo TV a follow, as well as Allison Steinberg, to, definitely keep up with it, because it's definitely important and definitely, amazing information. But as y'all can see, Ilhan Omar has never cared about, Americans at all. They only care about themselves, as y'all can see. You literally have this is a post by White House said Minnesota fraudsters will be held accountable. The videos from Nick Shirley have shed tremendous light on the situation in Minnesota, and the Department of Justice will continue to lead the effort to identify and prosecute fraud. So you have it right here. It says to date, the Department of Justice have charged 98 total defendants in several Medicaid fraud and related case programs. 64 were convicted, pleas and trials. 85 of the charge were Somalians. So the DOJ has issued over 1,700 subpoenas, executed over 130 search warrants, and conducted over 1,000 witness interviews. So definitely amazing. Definitely amazing. Got it right here. Programs that were ripe for fraud, feeding our future. 300 to 400 million in fraud. Falsely claimed to have served millions of free meals to children during the pandemic. Housing stabilization services provided. So got this program over 200 million. The program was designed to help people with disabilities, seniors, and people with mental illnesses, substance abuse disorders, and maintaining housing. The autism program, 700 million. Defendants paid kickbacks to parents and Somali community to have their children diagnosed as autistic and bring them to their autism clinics. So it's a lot. You have this Evergreen Recovery Inc. That's 30 million fraud scheme involving a drug and alcohol. And all this is at the White House, I promise y'all. So y'all can go find this. Like, this is not stuff that I'm just making up. I'm literally reading this. This is the White House, 3.4 million followers. Y'all can find this yourselves if y'all want to. Fraud scheme involving a drug and alcohol recovery treatment center that systematically overbilled Medicaid and other healthcare programs. So again, y'all can find all of this there. This just goes to show you how bad these things are. So when you have Ilhan Omar that's lying and giving these answers, she knows the bad trouble that she's currently in. She knows the trouble that she's in. And she obviously, is giving out those answers and showing, just based off of, her body language. I'm telling y'all, her whole demeanor is just, it's not it. It's definitely not it. You got it right here. And I hope I'm not saying this name wrong, but I don't even want to say it, but you got Miss Ernest here. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her last name. You got it. Says from California to Minnesota, fraud seems to be happening in blue states. Only blue states. Accountability is coming to stop the schemes. Check it out.
So there is a lot of fraud that has occurred with federal government taxpayer dollars, and the fraud in Minnesota is really just kind of the epicenter. It seems like everything bad happening in the United States seems to be happening either in Minnesota or California. But yes, I do have an update. So as the chair of the Senate DOJ caucus, I have called a meeting. We held a meeting earlier today with our caucus members, and we are putting together a piece of legislation for Leader John Thune. It will focus on fraud and waste in federal government programs. We're trying to close up loopholes that have been exploited by those that simply love to feed at the trough of the federal government, like the folks in Minnesota. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we prevent that corruption, that fraud before it ever happens, and trying to make our federal government much more efficient as well.
Definitely.
So we have a lot of suggestions coming from our members. We'll have that rolled up into a legislative package and hopefully ready to present to the members of the Senate before the end of January. Our taxpayers are tired of this fraud, and they want to see those that have perpetrated crimes against the federal government held accountable.
Definitely held accountable when it comes down to it. One thing about it, we all know how bad California is. It's definitely, I should say, in a sense, worse, in Minnesota, as they say. And it's pretty insane. This is a post. Donald Trump says they should be thrown out of the USA. Get it done now. He's demanding this. That includes their loser, Representative Omar, who married her brother. Parentheses. Gross. President DJT. Smalley suitcase stash. Feds say 130 million moved from Ohio airport to Minnesota on way overseas. So again, Ohio is starting to become that, that next name when it comes down to Minnesota. It's definitely insane. Even hearing that, definitely insane. Seeing how that's our neighbor here in Indiana. President Trump has already picked the new assistant attorney for fraud, targeting fraud in Minnesota in all 50 states. Check it out.
Yeah, he's fantastic. The person is fantastic.
Who is it?
It's a he. I will tell you maybe within minutes. I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to say yet because we're going through a process, but we have chosen a person who's very tough, very smart, very fair.
And I can't wait. I'm not even going to lie. Definitely can't wait, to give out and put out, that news, because there's a lot of things that definitely need to be done. There's a lot of things that need to be done. But you already know, enough of me talking. I feel like I've talked a lot, so I definitely apologize. But stay tuned for the next video that I'm dropping tonight. Please stay tuned for it. Catch y'all next one.